All right, Eloise, let's talk about something truly mind-bending, the ancient Peruvians. Forget what you think you know about history, because places like Caral are completely changing the face of South American archaeology.
So like a really big village? We have those now, they're called suburbs.
No, much more than that. It's a huge archaeological complex with a large sunken amphitheater, a major pyramid, minor pyramids, and even residential buildings. But the truly shocking part came in 1999. While excavating the pyramid's foundation, Shady's team found preserved ancient mesh bags woven from shikran grass.
Okay, grass bags sounds super high-tech. Maybe they were just really good at knitting?
This is crucial, Eloise. Stone ruins can't be radiocarbon dated, but these organic grass bags could. And what they found was nothing short of astonishing. The bags revealed that Caral predated the Inca civilization by more than 3,000 years. This site went back to at least 2600 BC or earlier, making it over 4,600 years old.
Whoa, so like ancient? Before dinosaurs even? My history textbook only goes back to the Incas having a rough day.
It's practically unheard of for the Americas. This dating completely upended history's well-established timeline, which previously focused on the Middle East as the origin of civilization. Some even suggest Caral could be the mother culture of the whole of South America. And what's really intriguing is that Caral appears to have been designed very much like a modern metropolis, with specific districts for various trades and dwellings for up to 3,000 inhabitants. There are clear indications of science, engineering, and mathematics in its planning.
So they were just super smart engineers who also liked really old grass bags. Got it.
Not just smart. The narrator mentions that incredibly similar structures were being built in Caral at the same time, around 4,600 years ago, 2,600 BC, as ziggurats in Mesopotamia and step pyramids in Egypt. Ancient astronaut theorists question if this was pure coincidence, suggesting a profoundly connected syzygy between these cultures. It's almost as if some outside influence was guiding simultaneous development globally.
So, you're saying aliens were doing a global building competition? Let's see who can build the most pyramids. Points for mysterious origins.
It certainly makes archaeologists either really excited or really nervous because the chronology has been obliterated. Now, let's move to Ollantaytambo, in Peru's Sacred Valley. Mainstream historians say it was built by the Inca Emperor Pachacuti around 1440 AD. But some scholars believe it was built upon the ruins of a far older city, whose origins remain unknown.
We have no idea who built this special. My favorite.
Precisely. They call them mysterious builders the Uran Pasha because they have no idea who they were or where they went. The earliest parts of Ollantaytambo are believed to date back at least 12,000 years, if not older. We're talking about massive interlocking blocks precisely fitted together, aqueducts and irrigation systems that still function today, and colossal granite stones, each weighing more than 50 tons, moved and set into place.
50 tons? I can barely move my couch. Did they have a secret society of super strong llamas, or maybe they just had really, really good backs?
Modern experts, like Stephen van der Hart, say moving a 50-ton boulder today would require a special transportation unit with steel girders, axles, and hydraulic jacks, possibly even changing the face of the hill to build a road. None of these options would have been available to the people living back then. Brian Forster points out that perfectly fitting stones of several tons so that a single human hair can't fit in between them is not a question of sweat or man-hours. It's a question of technology. And what's even stranger is that no evidence of stone or bronze tools, which mainstream archaeologists suggest, has been found.
So how did they do it? Magic? Telekinesis? Did they just politely ask the stones to move?
Some theorize the rocks were fused together by an unknown form of energy, almost like a high radiation beam or a laser. There's no explanation for how they could have created such a high heat source to fuse rocks in such an intricate fashion. This level of precision is also seen at Sacsayhuaman in Cusco, where giant, megalithic stone blocks, some weighing over 125 tons, are perfectly fitted. There are no nearby quarries, and the existing ones are more than 5 kilometers away.
Laser-fused rocks? Okay, now you're talking my language. So basically, ancient Peruvian contractors just needed a really good laser pointer.
The Incas themselves claimed they found the structures of Sacsayhuaman already in place, predating them by approximately 500 years. And once again, ancient Inca legends speak of celestial beings who descended from the skies long ago, shared their knowledge, and guided humans to achieve such feats. This leads to the question, was Sacsayhuaman created using alien technology?
Of course it was. When in doubt, blame the aliens. It's the ultimate dog ate my homework for historians.
It's not just Sacsayhuaman. Even at Machu Picchu, there are signs of advanced engineering and possibly molded stones. Some suggest the simplest way to build the Great Walls would have been to transport small rocks, melt them, and use molds to fashion the exact size and shape. But melting rock would require temperatures in excess of 3,000 degrees. Michael Dunn posits that if ancient peoples couldn't possibly know such technology, then some high-tech civilization from another planet came and showed them how to do it.
So they were just really good at sculpting hot rocks. Like pottery, but with mountains. Next you'll tell me aliens taught them how to make really big, really uncomfortable hats.
Speaking of appearances, there's the mystery of the elongated skulls found in places like Coachi, Peru, which are described as enormous and bizarre-looking, resembling aliens. While cranial deformation was a known practice in the ancient world, like the Mangbetu tribe who bound infant skulls to achieve elongation, the reason for it is debated.
Wait, people chose to make their heads look like that? Why? Was it a fashion trend? The higher the skull, the closer to Mars?
Some believe it was a way to distinguish the elite or to achieve greater levels of consciousness or higher levels of mental ability. But a more radical theory, proposed by Giorgio Tsoukalos, is that they did this in order to mimic the gods, who were physical beings or flesh and blood space travelers with elongated skulls. This imagery even aligns with modern depictions of extraterrestrials like the Greys.
Okay, so they were just early cosplayers, imitating their favorite alien influencers. Got it?
And finally, there's the fascinating concept of global alignments. Researchers like Jim Allison have discovered that sites like Machu Picchu, Easter Island, and Mohenjo-Daro fall on a straight line around the center of the Earth. This line also encompasses other mysterious ancient sites like the Giza Plateau, Nazca, Angkor Wat, the Sumerian city of Ur, Petra, and Persepolis.
Okay, now that's a bit much. A straight line? Did aliens just get bored and draw on a world map?
Kathleen McGowan-Coppin says this cannot be an accident or a coincidence. Giorgio Tsoukalos points out that only a people capable of flight or looking at maps could have achieved such a feat. It suggests a worldwide, intelligent, highly mathematically precise plan. The idea is that these points might have been places where ancestors made contact with extraterrestrials.
So it's not just building pyramids, it's like a giant intergalactic treasure map? X marks the spot for alien contact. Well, at least it explains why my GPS always gets confused in ancient ruins. It's clearly not synced with the alien grid.
So, Eloise, we've journeyed through the astounding ruins of Peru, from Caral, a city so ancient it completely upended history's well-established timeline, revealing a vast and highly sophisticated city that could be the mother culture of the whole of South America. We've seen Ollantaytambo and Sacsayhuaman, with their massive interlocking blocks precisely fitted together, some weighing more than 50 tons, and the absence of traditional tools at their sites. We even touched on the intriguing idea of rocks fused together by an unknown form of energy, almost like a high-radiation beam or a laser at Ollantaytambo, and the possibility of molded stones at Machu Picchu, which would have required temperatures in excess of 3,000 degrees. Then there's the bizarre phenomenon of elongated skulls found in places like Coachi, which some describe as resembling aliens. While it's true that cranial deformation was a practice known throughout much of the ancient world, with historical examples like the Mangbetu tribe who bound infant skulls to alter shape, and some suggest it was a way to distinguish the elite or for artistic self-expression. Yet, others argue it was done in order to mimic the gods, who they believe were physical beings or flesh and blood space travelers. And finally, the concept of global alignments, with sites like Machu Picchu, Easter Island, and the Giza Plateau falling on a straight line around the center of the Earth, a phenomenon described as not an accident or a coincidence. This suggests that only a people capable of flight, or at least being able to look at maps, would be able to do such a thing, implying a worldwide, intelligent, highly mathematically precise plan. What we've discussed today reveals a Peru filled with enigmas that genuinely challenge our historical understanding. The chronology has been obliterated, making it a time of both excitement and nervousness for archaeologists. Whether these astonishing feats were the result of unfathomable ancient human ingenuity, a parallel development of sophisticated cultures, as suggested by Caral's emergence alongside other early civilizations, or indeed, something more otherworldly, the evidence remains, waiting for us to interpret it. The question is, what conclusion do you draw from these echoes of advanced civilizations?
My conclusion? Seriously, Caleb, I can only draw one conclusion. End of transmission.